It is Niemira from Fintech and Founding Conference 2019, and we have a pleasure talking to Andrew Dix, co-founder and the CEO of Crowded Media Group.
Yes.
And you also a publisher of Crowdfund Insider and the Fintech Insider.
Yes.
So you're truly working with the entrepreneurial world, for the entrepreneurial world. So how it is to be a fearless publisher?
It's a lot of work, I'm telling you. I mean, just like any other entrepreneur, you're working 7 days a week and long hours every single day. I think we had that panel today at this event where the gentleman was talking about risk taking and entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. That you have to embrace that, but you also have to be resilient. And just like any other entrepreneur, I've got to be a risk taker and resilient when it comes to media and covering fintech and innovation and financial services.
Yes, absolutely. And at the same time, like money never sleeps, and the news never sleeps.
I don't sleep either. Right.
And you don't sleep as a publisher neither. So how it is right now, like you mentioned about the entrepreneurs and being like a fearless entrepreneur and having those fearless goals and keeping up with everything. It's just like looking, like to create something very inventive, and at the same time, selling your products, showcasing your products to the world, and keeping up with your own fears and insecurities if that is going to take it off. And so how it is to be like truly in that, having those fearless goals and becoming that fearless individual.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that you and I are very fortunate that we live in societies, you live in Canada, I believe, and I live in the United States,
yes,
that accept and acknowledge the importance of entrepreneurship and risk taking and job creation and growing wealth
yes,
for not just founders but also for the people around you. I think we're very fortunate in that fact. But I also I acknowledge that it's very, very hard, and you do have to be fearless, because in all honesty, I tell myself about once a quarter something happens where they say, okay, I just don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to have to deal with this. This is just too hard to do that. But then maybe you sleep 15 minutes longer and you get up and you start swinging and fighting again, because it's really a battle. But in the end, I think that you judge yourself and others judge you about what you accomplish and what you strive to accomplish. And I think there's just incredibly profound sense of fulfillment by taking those risks and hopefully becoming successful.
Well,
and I've been lucky
yes,
enough to meet so many interesting, fascinating people that have been successful, and some haven't been successful the first time, but maybe the second, third, or fourth time they are, and that's
so
really cool.
Never give up your hopes.
You never give up. Every
never
day
give up your dream.
Every day you have to come out swinging and fighting, and you want to just
if you
fight.
stop dreaming, that's the end of the world.
You're
you
done.
have to keep.
Yeah, why? Come on. You can't live if you can't fight, and swing to live to fight another day.
Yes, and you like news, media, entrepreneurship, and everything. It's all also about data. Like the world starts to be crazy about data right now. Is it truly the new oil, or as some are saying, the new soil?
Yeah, I think it's both, and I think you're absolutely right. Big data incorporates a lot of powerful potential in how we use and leverage that. At the same time, I think coming from a media perspective, it's always important to have a balanced point of view, to ask tough questions and reach out to people and discover what their goals and intentions are, because big data can be used for great things and big data can be used for not so great things. And I think that transparency is a must with all of this and how we use the data. And I think recent news events like Facebook and other platforms and how they have mismanaged our data
so it's
is
a transparency and ethics.
Yeah, transparency and ethics. And I do think, at least in the United States, eventually we're going to have some legislation that helps to craft how that data is utilized. And I would look at the UK and how open banking laws have evolved there as to perhaps the direction we should take, both here in Canada and in the US.
Yes, and I've noticed actually that, like just generally when you're looking at the news and the media, it has changed during the last 20 years. Everything has become like so digitalized. So how this digital media is so important for the innovative technologies?
So I think that, I used to work in traditional media and it sucked. I mean, it was awful because the culture was bad, there was no risk taking, there was a lot of fear, and a lot of that was driven by the legacy types that had gotten rich off of a business that really ended up being a monopoly. And if you're running a monopoly, it's easy to make money.
So you're saying that it would be very tough and unpleasant to work for Robert Murdoch?
No, I wouldn't say that, because I have respect for Murdoch and what he's accomplished, but that's a longer conversation which I'd love to talk about. But I would say that a lot of the traditional broadsheets and other medias, they bulks it up. They mess it up. I think today we're in the golden age of media if we get it right. And if we have balanced perspective that's transparent and open, it's really an enormous and huge opportunity to have a new age of disclosure and understanding.
Does blockchain make sense for media?
I would say in most respects, no, but there are some use cases where perhaps blockchain can have some potential. I think, personally, I think that the blockchain has been overhyped quite a bit, but I do think that there's a concept there and an opportunity there that is currently being leveraged by big companies, and I think there is potential there that we're going to see it evolve over time.
Well, and the time will tell.
Time will tell, it does, right? Always.
Andrew, thank you so much for being with us, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you.